Okay, welcome back, and in this video we're going to mount the wing servo and the push rod and associated control horn into the wing. Remember, we already cut the hole out here for it. And so got all the stuff I think we need. Let's hope so anyways. So I got my bag of stuff that was marked ailerons. So out of that I'm going to pull one of the servo extensions, and I've decided I'm going to use a 9-inch this 9-inch servo extension. Okay. And need one push rod that came with the airplane. Need one servo, and that's the high-tech servo. And I'll need the clevis and some of the other stuff out of that bag. You need the mounting, the servo arms to go with the servo, and you'll need one of these two control horns. And everything else in here will go for the next wing. So out of this bag of small parts, we will need, just dump it all out, put back what I don't need. Okay, so the blue piece of fuel tubing, got one, don't need the other one. The metal clevis, got one of those. The three pieces that make up the quick connect, which is this little white button there, goes on the bottom of the quick connect. The quick connect itself, okay, and the screw that goes in the top. And then also the nut that goes behind the clevis. So I can put this nut back, put that back, put that back, and put that back. Okay, so that's everything out of the little bag. In addition to that, I've got the tools I hope I need. And so I've got some thin CA, some debonder, a CA applicator, regular screwdriver, a pin vise with a 1mm drill in it, my electric driver, pair of wire cutters, and that should do it. So I think everything's ready. I'll be back in a minute and we'll get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is select the servo arm that I need for this. Each package of arms that come with the servo are somewhat different. And this servo comes with rubber grommets and these little brass tubes that you put in the servo to have it get less vibration. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 arms, square arm, double arm, a 4-arm servo, and last but not least the single arm servo. I'm going to use a single arm servo because that's all we really need. This servo arm is adjustable. Okay, so this piece slides in and out, and it's on like a rack and pinion kind of rack, and you can adjust how far out the hole is. So I like that. So I'm going to use a single arm servo, and we won't need these other servo arms. So the single arm for the servo is what we'll use. Won't need those. Next thing to do is put the grommets in. So I'm going to put the 4 grommets in, and when you put them in, you got to make sure there's a right and a wrong side to do this. So that side of the grommet has an indent to it. This side of the grommet does not. Okay, so the side with the indent goes, into the hole, and just like that. Okay, and then the brass tube goes up from the bottom. Okay, make sure the brass tube goes up from the bottom. Get this wire out of my way, it'll be alright. Okay, so that brass tube, the flange part down here is on the bottom, and the screw will go in that way. By the way, we got 4 screws in there too. So let me put those 4 grommets in. Usually they go in quickly, so I won't stop the camera. In the other brass tubes. Brass tubes hold the grommet in place and give you a good way to drop in the screw when you're ready. Okay, so 4 grommets with 4 brass tubes. Okay, the next thing we're going to need to do is I'm going to pause the camera for a minute because I want to look inside and make sure. You'll see in there there's a string. I got to see where the string goes and how to get it out. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I think I can just grab this string, and I believe it's just taped on this end, so I'm going to pull that out. And there was a bit of tape holding the string in there. And that string is to pull the extension wire through. So give myself a little room here. Okay, and so I got the extension wire, the little string in here. I'm going to pull the string out from this side. And what I'm going to do is tape it off on the outside here. So I've got the piece of tape that was there, got a piece of tape that's here, and so now that string is taped here and there. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is open up the heavy duty servo extension wire. It's a 9-inch. And we'll hook that on. I need a little bit more tape. I'll be right back. Okay, I got 2 kinds of tape. The servo and its wire needs to be connected to the extension. And you always do the black to black. So flip this over. So both black wires are on the bottom, and you push that in. Make sure you get in good and tight, and to make sure it stays there, I'm going to use some black electrician's tape and wrap it. me a small piece of black electrician's tape. I'm going to tape those two wires together so it doesn't ever come out. Remember, you're going to be pulling on this, and you don't want these things to pull apart. Okay, so now I got that wire together. Now you can see how far out that will come with the 9-inch extension, and I think that's going to be long enough. Plus we'll have the 9-inch extension off the receiver for it to plug into. Okay, so now I've got to pull this wire, the end of this wire, through the wing. That's what the little piece of string is for. I'm going to take a small piece of white painter's tape here and tape the string to the end of the servo wire. Actually, it's an extension. Okay, get the tape off of where it was on the wire. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? You can angle this down a little bit more. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take the string and, using this white tape, tape the string to the end of the wire and make sure it's good and tight so it doesn't come off. Okay, doesn't have to be pretty, just has to work. And then I'm going to come down here and start pulling that wire through. Okay, that wire is through. We got that much of the extension out. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put the servo in its hole. There we go. I'm going to leave the string attached just in case. You never know if you mess up and you got to pull that whole thing back out. If you pull the whole thing back out, don't pull that string all the way out. But that's a different story. Okay, so now what we need to do is you got to drill some pilot holes where these grommets are. That's what the pin vise is for. So I'm going to, the servo is pretty tight, and I don't think there's much slop. I'm just going to hold it up and to the right in case there is any slop, and drill 4 holes. Tell you what, this white servo arm is in the way. We're going to take it off anyways. This round servo arm is doing us no good. So we'll save the screw and take this white arm off. Don't need the white arm. Okay, get my pin vise and drill my hole. Okay. Now what I normally do is once I drill one hole, I'll insert this screw in part way. I'll use my electric driver here to drive it in part way. Okay, just enough to hold it, and then with that pretty well fixed, I'll drill my other 3 holes. Remember, these are pilot holes. This pin vise pokes a nice small hole into the covering, and then does a nice pilot hole for the size of the screw for the mounting the servo. Okay, I'm going to do all 4 screws part way, not all the way, just part way. Servo screws are notorious for stripping, so you have to be very careful. One of the reasons I like this electric driver is it does a better job than me using this old style screwdriver, because it doesn't slip as much. So now that I've got these 4 screws started, I'm going to back them out with the same driver, and then we're going to put CA in the hole to stiffen the threads that were created by these 4 screws. Okay. So, with that in place, or those removed, I can move this out, and this is why you don't take the string off back here, so I can put that far enough out so it's out of my way. And so I've got 4 nice holes here. I'm going to get a little small little tool, be right back. Okay. I've got a paper clip on a cork. It's a small paper clip stuck into the end of a plastic cork. And when I drop the CA in there, I want to make sure the CA doesn't fill in the hole. So I'm going to use this to poke the hole after I drop the CA in. So now that that's there, I can get my bottle of CA. Be careful not to spill it on the wing. Get my applicator and put it on the top of the bottle. Sometimes easier said than done when you've used this same bottle of CA a dozen times. Here we go. So the CA applicator is in place, and you can see how tiny the end of it is. And I've got my paper towel in case I need it. So I'm going to put 2 small drops in each hole. Okay, so squeeze the bottle a little bit all the way down, getting not running out yet. Let's see. All right. Okay, I've used this applicator before and it's gummed up, so let me go get a different applicator. Okay, I'll get a new one. Okay, these CA applicators are cheap, but so am I. So I reuse my applicators because when I'm done, I put it on the debonder and squirt some debonder through it, and I get 5 or 6 applications out of one CA applicator. That one probably was used too many times. So I'm going to put this one on. This is a nice new clean one, and the CA should flow easily in and down, and 1 drop, 2 drops, 1 drop, 2 drops, 1 drop, 2 drops, 1 drop, 2 drops. Okay. I'm going to wipe the surface off just a little bit. And I'm going to leave the applicator on because I got another wing to do. So I'm going to let that sit there. And so while that CA dries, it needs to dry at least an hour or two. I'm going to do the other wing, and then we'll come back and finish the assembly of the servo and put the control horn on. So this CA really does need to dry for several hours, 2 hours probably.